Hi guys, welcome. My name is Neil Mandel from Epic Activation. I hope you are all well. Just going to give a few minutes for people to join in. Been a few weeks, took a bit of a summer break, so back and all raring to go. And just wanted to help you guys, educate you, share information with you, share experiences with you. So hopefully you're joining in now and getting notifications. Technology always has a way to throw it back at you, but it is what it is. So let's see what happens. If you want to say hi to me on the on LinkedIn or YouTube, then I believe I see those comments come up, which is always good. I'm just going to talk for a couple of minutes before I get into it to allow people to join in, because there's a bit of a delay on some of the platforms. So yeah, I've actually done a few of these sessions already. This is my fourth or fifth session, talking specifically about promotional marketing, shopper marketing campaigns. I was very specific on certain topics on the previous ones, so you can actually go back and have a look at those if you're not seeing this live. You can also see this one again. Just to bring up, actually, if you go to Google and go to YouTube and Epic Activation, it should come up and you should find my YouTube channel. The usual thing that people do, please subscribe, like, follow. If I hit 100, I can actually name my YouTube channel rather than some gobbledygook URL. So it's all quite new. So would be great if you subscribed to have a look and see what you like on there. So I'm just going to wait, as I say, a few minutes to get people to come on board. So if you would like to bear with me for a few minutes, because we had a few people that were looking to join today, which is obviously great news, because it could be interactive. I'm going to talk about a few things and share my experiences with you. So I see people are getting some emails about the live session. So I think previously I've been nervous about just going straight in, but I'm just going to wait a couple of minutes to see if anyone joins. If people don't join, that's fine. It's a hectic day, a hectic week. We're all very busy, and that's why it's also on YouTube, and you can follow up and watch this in your own time. So bear with me for a few moments, if that's all right. So I'll actually start with just a bit of a background about myself. So some of you may know this, and obviously if you join in late, then you can come in and see what it's all about and about me. So as I said, my name is Neil Mandel. I'm a digital marketer. I started in graphics, then went into web design, and then got into promotional marketing and sort of the digital aspect of that. So I've been designing promotional campaigns for over 15, 20 years now. So yeah, there's just a few things I know about the industry, the sector, what to do, what not to do. And you always learn from mistakes and you try to improve on that. So lots of tips and tricks. And as I say, I've done previous talks on the registration of a promotion, the type of prizes, the mechanics, and yeah, and they're, as I say, they're all on YouTube. So let's just wait for a few people who might be popping in late. As I say, you may end up with no one, and that's fine because people will look at it in their own time. I know I'm repeating myself. I don't want anyone to miss out who wants to come along. So we're literally going to start in a couple of moments, because if you're watching this afterwards, you're going to hear me rabbiting on. So I'm going to get started in 30 seconds. I was going to get a gin with me today, Friday afternoon, trying to time it, see when people want to watch. But I've actually picked up a bit of a cold, so I'm on the Lemsip and the water to get me through my top tips. So you'll have to come on next time if you want to have the gin with me. So let's get cracking and see how we go. And I'll repeat bits if people come on live in a moment. So here are my 10 top tips you must implement to run successful sales and loyalty campaigns. As I said, there are many tips, and when I was writing the 10 top tips, I was coming up with others, but I thought I'd confine it to a set list. So let's start without further ado. My first tip, there it is, comes up on the screen. Plan early and tie in with relevant events, films and festivals. What I'm going to do is talk about a bit before the digital aspect of it, the actual digital aspect, and then potentially things afterwards and other things that you might want to implement post a promotional campaign. So the idea, I mean, it sounds obvious to plan early and tie in with events. So if you're in experiential, you might have competitions, you might have exhibitions with stands, and what you often see is people put business cards into a pot to win a prize, and that's been done for many years and relatively successful. But the world is digital. You can have great excitement going on your stand, where people go to a website or visit a page, register their details there, and actually you could then have a big klaxon going, congratulations, you've won, and all the lights, fireworks, whatever you want to appear, and someone can win an instant prize on the stand. That's a lot more exciting, a lot more engaging, and obviously you capture consumer data. So if you run experiential campaigns, you might want to look to plan ahead for some kind of promotion when the event is going on. The same with things like film launches. We've actually launched a campaign for a film that's coming up. Can't talk too much about it because we've done this sort of white label, which we work with agencies. So again, you can run a promotion and tie in prizes to do with the brand of the film, for example. So when you're looking for prizes, you're halfway there because you've got the film. So there could be merchandise, there could be trips to where the film is set, and you sort of start thinking about the film as the theme that you can have a good partnership with. Then the third one that I'd like to get people to plan early about are festivals. So whether it's Glastonbury, whether it's other music festivals, they're very popular. And to win tickets to those festivals is a big thing. We do it for a few cider companies and beer companies. They're obviously demographics are right. So again, you can plan ahead, whether that's 6 months ahead, 9 months ahead, the following summer. That might be something you want to look at. So the idea is plan early to time with these relevant events. So you've got a bit of a theme going. And the earlier you plan, whether you then do it for festivals, I talk about music festivals, it could be Christmas, it could be Halloween. You can start planning and building a campaign into that kind of, for those sort of events. So just seeing if anyone is answering anything or connected at the moment. We will keep pushing on. So if you just bear with me, just sending a couple of notifications out as we speak. So I'm going to move on to the next step. So that's the first one. So number one, plan early and time with relevant events, films and festivals. Number two, prepare and invest in marketing strategy for the campaign. So it's all very well having a fantastic digital campaign, but you've got to get people to go there. So if they don't go there, you've blown your budget, you've wasted your budget, and it's not going to be very successful. So you've got to do things like preparing. If you're in store, for example, like a food product, you've got to have all your POS and have all your planning with the supermarket arranged, whether it's advertising on the aisles, on the floor, on the ceiling, at the end of the aisle. That all has to be prepared. Social media activity, so you might be posting banners, doing sponsorship, digital sponsorship to attract people. Obviously, there's the HFSS ruling, which is minimizing the ability to put your products, if you're in the sort of sugary confectionery sector, to put your products right by the tills. So you've got to think of other ways to do that, and that might be through social channels. So there's a lot of work that has to go in early from that point of view into the planning. So this is all obviously before you build a campaign, to get people again to want to participate and want to and to know about the campaign. So that is point number 2. We're on to point 3. Make sure it's easy to enter, look great, and obviously be mobile friendly. Now, this sounds obvious, but people do get it wrong. And what I'm trying to do is not confuse making it easy to enter, the actual mechanic of being easy to enter. It's about the user actually understanding what they need to do. It might be complicated, but as long as they know what to do. In fact, this is, I don't know if you know this, I mentioned this before, you should know this or do know this. Compass News, fantastic magazine for compers, the whole industry of, this is kind of my Bible at the moment. I kind of love reading this. I think I've got quite geeky in my old age. Yeah, it's great. If you don't know about it, it's basically Comping Crusaders. So it sort of talks about promotions that haven't gone well, or they were not clear in their instructions and sort of annoyed people. And they have obviously lots of competitions within it. And then actually you have lots of promotions that talks about, it sort of literally lists the promotions. You can't see it with my green screen. Do you like my virtual office, by the way? Time to change it. I'm going to open a new virtual office. No, can't see this. Look, there's the camera. Yeah, there you can. So it's the wrong way around. There you go. Free prize draw. So it lists all the free prize draw promotions. And it does lots of other different promotions. So it might be if you need to make a purchase needed promotions. So it's all quite good from that point of view. And one of the things that is in here, I wonder if I can find it actually. There's phone and text. There's entry forms. And I'll tell you why I'm coming to this point in a minute. There we go. There is it. Ooh, that way. Effort needed. Competitions where effort is needed. So what that is not difficult. Excuse me. There goes my cold. It's not that it's got to be difficult to enter. People just need to understand what they need to do, and it needs to be very clear. So actually, there's a thing within Compass News that a certain sector love the effort needed competitions because a lot of people aren't going to play, and therefore they've got more chance of winning. So I've kind of digressed a bit, but if you have big prizes, if there's big prizes on offer, and you want people to make that little bit of an extra effort, then you might want to create something a bit more tricky, whether that's upload an image or draw a picture or send a video of your pet dog or something like that. That's more than just filling in your name and finding out if you've won. So I'm kind of want that to be clear that I'm not actually talking about making it easy to enter, because some, as I said, could be tactically more difficult. So easy to enter, you're talking about the site looking being mobile friendly. That's quite an old sort of term now. Everything by standard should work on your mobiles, but I still work with some agencies that maybe haven't thought about that. So we need to get sort of designs working where we know they're going to work very well on mobile phones, because the majority of people are actually now entering on mobile phones. So the design obviously has to be clear. You don't want it cluttered with other links to other pages. So you don't want it to say, click here to visit this, and then you sort of digress and people lose track of where they are in the process. So you want to keep the website very simple. Registration, enter, do what they need to do. Thank you for submitting. You've won a prize, you haven't won a prize, in a sort of linear process. So that's my Second tip, less distractions, make it easy to enter, make it easy to play, understand what you need to do, even if what you need to do is a bit more complicated. And then just look great, look the part, look branded from that point of view. I was wondering how long I was going to struggle before my cold of constant talking suddenly clicks in. Excuse me. Number 4, if you can get unique codes printed on packs or labels, do it. It's easier to say than done. I know that from experience. A unique code, we generate at Epic, we generate codes that we then send to printers that are guaranteed to be unique. And basically they help the security of the entry point. So you allow one play per unique code. So you can't possibly be bombarded unless someone stole all the packets, or dare I say it, took photos of the codes on the shop floor. There are always going to be ways people get around it, but unique code is pretty damn good to get the codes on the packs. It's not always possible because the packs have to go through the print run. So sometimes it's just far too expensive and not even possible with the way some brands are set up to also work out which packs will be on shelf between the March and the May, for example, when the promotion is active. So that is also very tricky. There are ways around it with stickers. So if you can get into the factory to put a sticker on as opposed to changing the printing run, then that's also an option. So you sort of peel back, it could be on the back of the pack, and you peel back, win a holiday, and then there's your unique code inside. So there are different ways to try and get the codes on pack, which definitely 100% help a campaign from a sales point of view, and from a blocking people trying to win when they haven't bought a product or have no association with the brand. We also do batch codes. So if we know what the batch codes are, people can put those in. Obviously, batch codes aren't unique, so people can share that batch code on social media. The less you do, or the further away you come from unique codes, the more chance there are that someone will play without a purchase. So, but batch code does help because people have to find out, people have to do something rather than easily hack in. I call it hack, that's not really the right word. Play without any limitations. One thing I do like, it's not an official tip, but it's sort of within tip 4. One thing I do like is using mobile phone numbers, a bit like a URL, a unique code, because it's a unique digit number, and most people have one mobile phone. So you put your code in, and you might run a promotion with one email and one phone number, and they can only enter twice a month or twice in the whole campaign, and we can then recognize if they've used that number more than twice, or whatever your limit is, which is great. Obviously, you then would potentially say, we will call you on your phone number so you can claim your prize. Even if you do, and even if you don't, at least it sort of puts the blockers in and the mindset in that people can't just randomly enter any kind of number. And you are also protected if you have that in the T's and C's. So you can literally say, well, we found that number, it wasn't your number, so you haven't won. Not great for PR, but great for your protecting your promotion and your investment. So unique codes are my number one security option to protect the brand and the promotion. You can also, as I said a bit earlier, which is sort of an effort needed aspect, is receipt uploads. So you upload the receipt, scan it in with your phone, and so that's quite a good way. People obviously then have a purchase and have to take the picture. You have to be a bit careful that people don't throw away the receipt and then they can't enter, but they do need to read the T's and C's. That's usually quite prominent about the upload receipt. And then again, it depends on the value of the prize. Some brands just don't want blockers for their customers and just want to make it as easy as possible, and will accept that people will try and break the system by playing multiple times. So it depends what the prices are, what your value is, what's important to you as a brand, to decide which way you want to go. Do you want to add as much security as possible, or do you just want to turn a blind eye and let people enter and be done with it from that point of view? So that is point 4. Point 5, capture opt-in data. So you'd think it's obvious that you want people to opt in. From a learning experience, there have been problems in the past, many years ago, clearly not now. And certainly with GDPR, you must get people to opt in before you start contacting them again after the promotion. So we ran a promotion several years ago, and they didn't have any consumer data. I've mentioned this in one of my other, probably a couple of my other talks, because I'm really proud of this. They weren't that fussed about how many plays and the sales. Obviously, the sales are great, but what they wanted to do, they had no consumer data and they wanted to market. We ran a promotion to win prizes. It was for a cider brand, and they had 29. Did I get that right? 29,000 plays and 24,000 opt-ins. That was 24,000 people they didn't have 2 months earlier. So they were like absolutely over the moon. It was just really, really happy with it. And as I say, what you don't, the key thing you don't want to do is not really think about it. And then if you're a brand afterwards, you think, oh, maybe I should have captured some details. Have we got any user information? Sadly, the answer is no, because we've got the user information, but they haven't actually opted in because you didn't present an opt-in box. So we are very careful of sort of asking you probably 4 times, 5 times over, are you sure you don't want to opt in? To the point where I need that in writing and email, because it's something that's easily people say, oh no, it's too much. And then after it's been thought about, the horse has bolted basically, and you can't get that information back. Even though we've got their consumer data, you can't then use it. So think about that. As I say, some brands, they've got no facility for it. They're massive. They don't know what they'd do with it. It'd be hundreds of thousands of people's information. And basically they just say, we don't want it. And if they don't want it, then that's absolutely fine. With their marketing strategy, they've probably got a million other things going on. So how are we doing? Is this all good? I hope it is. Seem to be live on YouTube and LinkedIn, so I'm hoping all is going, that you will all be able to see this at some point. Okay, I've learned over the last few sessions to also be able to pause without worrying too much. Otherwise, I'm talking too quickly, and yeah, you'll probably see if you watch my other videos. I'd like to think this is starting to get a bit slicker as I do them. So as I say, as I just lose my place, but that's fine. So we are on. We have now done capture opt-in data, and now we have point 6. Have a varied and relevant prize pool. So people are different, aren't they? So some people just see the big holiday and they just think, let's go for the holiday, I don't care. Especially, you know, this has proved it. Compass News, this proves it to everyone. The range of people and the sort of competition. I think it's a recent one, maybe even this one. It's a day in the life. Maybe one of the other ones I've got. I think it is. A day in the life of a comper. And it starts off by talking about, yeah, here we go. 6:30 a.m, rise and shine. A Fitbit alarm wakes me up at 6:30. Obviously, they won in a competition. Breakfast, my son and I have a bowl of cereal. And they've all, because they've all got promotions on. These people have gone through and they are dedicated to winning prizes. And I'm telling you, the whole community, look at all these prizes. There are pages and pages of prizes, turn over pages of it, where your promotion could appear. So it talks about the closing date, what the promotion is, the entry points, etc., etc., and different notes, like how many entries per person. And people prefer different things. So prizes, win a holiday. Some people are like, right, I'm going for that holiday, and they'll enter it. They'll go for it. Some people are more skeptical. They would rather win a Bluetooth speaker or something. And if there's 20,000 to give away, they feel they've got more chance of winning that. So they will enter. So they will enter to win one of many prizes, or something with more appeal, more chance of winning. So you kind of need to weigh up your brand, weigh up what people want, and potentially mix it up. So you might, and it all comes down to budget ultimately. You might want to offer one big prize, which is your headline prize. So that's all over the website and everything else. But then you could have thousands of other prizes, so you get other people, plenty of other people winning. You don't want just one big prize and put all your budget into that, because you won't get people talking about it on social media. You won't get people sharing their experiences, and that's probably mainly going to be a waste of your budget and your promotion. So I would say you need to mix it up, potentially have a bigger prize, so for bigger headlines. What I haven't talked about today is risk management, fixed fee insurance. We can certainly help with that. We've done a lot of promotions where you insure against it. I won't go into too much detail. If you want to know more, please let me know. But that allows you to have massive headlines, like win of one of 10 Ferraris to be won. Great big headlines, and capping the risk to you, the brand. You don't want to be out of pocket and not sleep at night. And just very quickly, fixed fee risk management also is there when you don't know how many people are going to win. So if it's a random or skill-based game, for example, you don't really know how people are going to perform. So you don't know if it's popular and people are going to win. And therefore, you've got to go and buy 10,000 new iPads, for example. So you take out this risk management for that. So if you want to know anything about that, please do drop me a line, and I can sort of share some experiences with you on how it all works. But if you do have, as I say, so make the prizes relevant. You don't want to be buying surfing lessons for a knitting competition where it's generally older people. I'm generalizing. I apologize to the older people who do like to surf. I'm going with the majority. You just got to work out what people are interested in. Travel prizes. Obviously, travel around now is pretty difficult because of COVID. And actually, a recent survey has suggested that most people do actually prefer cash, which I don't think is a surprise. But you also do have to be careful that it's a bit soulless as well. It's kind of the best, but it's a bit, there's holidays and, money can't buy, meet a celebrity. You can't buy that. And sometimes they stand out, but on the whole, a lot of cash prizes are kind of the ones people enter. So again, you need to consider that. And something very relevant, I would say, is sustainability. Your packaging, the way you put the prizes together, should be considered. I say should be considering that. You need to consider it. Whether you act on it is completely up to you and your brand. I think it's not so much the end consumer that's opening the box and wondering if the package is disposable easily, if it can be recycled, because all they do is want their device or whatever that's not particularly sustainable. So it's more about your brand and your image, whether you want to make a point of saying, okay, well, we're not going to pack these prizes in polystyrene and we're going to use things like wood filler, for example, and stuff like that. So again, think about when you're sourcing prizes, what the prizes are, and sustainability obviously is very big in the ethos and the mindset of brands at the moment. So just summarizing that, think carefully about the prizes with your audience and vary the prizes so you are giving away quite a few prizes, not just focusing it all on one big prize. And also the other thing about the smaller prizes are basically more people can share on social media. So you get people being brand ambassadors saying, hey, I just won, I keep talking about Bluetooth speakers, but I just won a Bluetooth speaker with brand X. What great fun they are, and I love the product, blah, 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 blah. So you can, that helps as well. So we're coming to the latter stages of my tips, and we have tip number 7: offer instant gratification using winning moments and using a microsite. So I run a lot of promotions. We run a lot of promotions, and they vary. Sometimes they are within a company's website, but I find there's lots of issues with that. I won't go into details here, technical issues. The best thing is have a microsite, just a standalone, so you could have something like a winwithx.com.co.uk, and you can divert that from your main website, or you can advertise the new domain, especially for the promotion. So you can do that. And I would say instant gratification is like a winning moment. So what you want to do is set your prizes, let people win instantly, and basically it comes up saying, congratulations, you've won a prize. There's surprise and delight. There's absolutely euphoria that they've won the holiday, the weekend away, or whatever it is. Gives you an opportunity to then send a confirmation email, which again is pretty important. And I mentioned that in making the competition easy. You don't want people to have to then screenshot and why, who do I phone to get this prize? It might just disappear. If they get an email telling them they've won the prize, and we'll let you know when you'll get the prize, then that's great communication with them. Prizes often in the T's and C's, you talk about them receiving the prizes within 28 days. So that's pretty good to do that. And I think prize draws are good. And actually, I run instant win with prize draws as well. But I do find prize draws on their own. And there is a time and a place for a prize draw. Definitely, because I do that a lot of the time and it's justified. But just a prize draw on its own, when you can do something like a winning moment, instant win competition, seems a bit flat. So you enter a competition, submit. Instead of win, it says, thank you for entering, we'll let you know. So it's kind of like the journey's over. So when you do an instant win, you've got congratulations, you won a prize, you've won X, you'll get an email confirmation, and you'll also have, you've been entered into a prize draw, which you'll find out in 2 weeks if you win. Or if they don't win the winning moment, it will say, sorry, you haven't won the winning moment, but don't worry, you're still entered into a prize draw. So it's kind of layering up the promotion, making it more touch points, more exciting points, having people have build that brand memory structures that I talk about as they go along. So they do it there. They're going to have to remember you in a couple of weeks' time when there's an announcement that the prize draw is being made. They'll have it in their mind that, oh, there's a draw this Friday, especially from Conference News. They've probably got some chart with it all written down on, and rightly so, they enter so many. They'll say brand X prize draw is happening today. So, and actually something I read also in one of the reports was 71% of people who enter a competition, I've gone a bit left field here, 71% of people, I think that's the figure, who enter a competition will enter it with a brand they haven't used before. So they may be loyal to one brand, but if there's a competition with a prize they like, they will happily switch. Which is strange because we're trying to build loyalty, but actually, if you dangle a big enough carrot, people will jump. So you've kind of got to take it for what it is, that consumers are like that. But actually, they do become a high percentage, do actually, especially when they win, they actually switch brands and become loyal to your brand, to the new brand, once they've engaged, entered, and potentially won. So that's another reason for them to actually win a prize. So lots to think about from that. But back to the gratification, winning moments is my favorite mechanic. So if you're toying with the idea, yes, we can do both, but the instant, why would you not congratulate people and give them satisfaction, gratification instantly while they're on their mobile, walking along the street, and suddenly they've won a prize? No sense in missing out on that. Number 8, how are we doing for time? We're on about 35 minutes. I think that's probably about right. I'll ask for any questions, but I'm not sure there are at this point. So I think most people will be hopefully viewing this at a later date. I'll be sharing this with people. So point 8, we are into physical prizes. So the delivery, make sure they're delivered seamlessly. Again, it just seems so obvious. Well, why wouldn't you? Well, if you don't plan it properly and prizes don't turn up, then as quickly as people have said on their social media, hey, I've just won this prize, they're going to quickly go on and say, hey, I think this is dodgy, or is this dodgy? Does anyone know? Has anyone heard? Has anyone won prizes from this brand? Because I haven't received my prize yet, and it's been 30 days, and it said 28 days. What you don't want to do is all the hard work, the points 1 to 7 that we've done, and then mess up handing out the prizes. So what you need to do is make sure you work with a fulfillment house that knows what they're doing. Obviously, we help with facilitating that, and we have systems that are plugged into fulfillment houses, so the reports are downloaded, and it's a seamless process that the name address is literally in the system, and those prices go out weekly. So there's no 28 days, but you sort of put that in to cover yourselves because you're allowed to do that. But actually, within a week or so, that prize will be shipped and sent out, so people can start photographing it and putting it on their social media and talking about, hey, look at my new football or whatever it is. So that's physical prizes, very key to get that infrastructure in place beforehand. Everyone along the chain knows what they're doing, what day they're doing it, and you want to sort of repeat that process until the promotion has ended. Number 9, make sure terms are written professionally, terms and conditions. There's nothing worse than not being covered and back to the rules and worrying that you're going to be sued. Get your terms and conditions written and get them approved either by the IPM or by a legal body or whoever it is. Even if your company has a legal department and want to write it, please run it past someone in the promotional sector, because they may contribute to it. Obviously, well, not obviously, but we like T's and C's for competitions. We also adapt other people's T's and C's when they're provided. And I just beg that you follow some guidelines and speak to who you need to speak to before a promotion is launched. Because, as I said, I keep holding this up, I should get paid by them, shouldn't I? Compass News is fantastic. The people are so enthusiastic. They're not just there to criticize promotions. They are there to pick out if promotions have gone wrong. But they are there to explain how competitions work and basically share success stories. Say that when you've had your gin, lucky I'm on the water. And share success stories. So that's the premise of this magazine. However, if you get it wrong in the T's and C's and you haven't clearly stated on the packaging, on the small terms on the packaging, and then the large terms within the website or wherever the large terms are, you can get yourself into trouble. So please, please, please take professional advice on that before you run a promotion. And lastly, last but not least, consider an exit plan. So most exit plans are about selling businesses, aren't they? But this is just, what are you doing when the promotion ends? Are you putting up a page that says this promotion has ended? Are you then looking to run something else? You can have a product that's on shelf, and actually after the promotion period has ended, there are still promotional packs on shelf. So what are your options? You have to take legal advice on that, because people will go still to the website to play. They won't necessarily have looked at the T's and C's. So I know for sure, and I'm not a lawyer directly, or I'm not a lawyer at all actually, but I know that you have to be incredibly careful, and make it very clear that the promotion has ended. Whether you can run something else is out for discussion, and it's how you do it basically. Don't forget, obviously, you've got all the comms. If you've got opt-in data, please make use of it. We're talking about ROI, return on investment. You've invested a lot of money. Please have a plan for what you're doing with that data. How are you going to use it? Are you going to send surveys? Are they going into some big database of your users and joining up in your Salesforce, or whatever you do? The publicity about the promotion, happy customers, sharing that information, finding out how many people talked about it on social media. It's very hard to run reports and find out exactly the success of a promotion. You might have a beer promote, a cider promotion for festivals, and hopefully post-COVID they won't be cancelled, but it may be chucking with rain. I know people still go to festivals, so it's probably not the best example. Well, it probably is, because people just will not drink as much of the product at the festival or in the lead up to the festival if it's like stormy and cold and not very nice. So you're also challenged by your competitors and what promotions they run at the same time. So there's so many different other factors. It's very difficult to literally say this promotion was successful because of we're selling more because of the promotion. But ultimately, you've got to think about what you're going to do with the data, how you're going to benefit from the promotion, whatever you have done, and how you're going to get more loyal customers and start building up those numbers. So it's very important to think of the exit plan, not just, and I have seen it, people sort of fed up of it by the time it's at the end and move on to the next thing. And it's kind of, well, what are you doing with the data? And I do get people that generally don't ask for the opt-in data at the end of a campaign. And I sort of chase them saying, yeah, but we shred it. So do you want it? It's yours because these people have opted in. And the answer is, oh, yes, please, can we have that? So it's an afterthought. Make sure that you get your data before it is shredded by whoever is running the promotion for you. So that is it. That is my 10 top tips. I hope that's of use to you. If you're watching on LinkedIn or if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Please leave a comment on YouTube. As I said, please subscribe. It'd be nice to start building up some subscribers. I hope you found that interesting. Any feedback is always good. So if you just want to email me a few other exciting clicks, there you go. If you want to email me, Neil at Epic Activation, with any thoughts, that would be fantastic, because I'm always looking for feedback. When you're talking to a blank screen, not so easy. And actually, on our website, epicactivation.co.uk, if you go to book a call with those hyphens in, so I'll get this right. Oh, nearly. There you go. Book a call. We've got, you can book in a workshop with me. That's like half an hour free, just to chat about your challenges, your objectives for the next few months, and I'm happy to share ideas. We've run a couple of promotions recently where we literally put out some ideas and we've won the business because of it, because they've said, oh my God, that's amazing. Hadn't thought of that. Let's do it. And we've just cracked on with it. So full of ideas, full of experience. So please do feel free to book a call with me, a no obligation workshop, talk about your challenges, what you're trying to do, and we shall go from there. So that's me, Neil Mandel, Epic Activation, and I've survived with my cold and my water and my Lemsip. So thank you very much. It's 3:45 on a Friday. That's not a bad time to stop. So have a good weekend, and I shall see you all again soon. Thanks very much.